Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about how I'm trying to make my mouse videos better. So here I have a wonderful mouse which I have been testing out and trying, and this, as a side note, might be my new favourite, at least at the moment. This is the SteelSeries Aerox 5, which is a very nice mouse for a number of different reasons. I'm going to do a proper unboxing and review of it, and also a comparison with the Aerox 3 and some other mice shortly. But this isn't about that, it is instead about something else, which is how I'm going to try and take my mouse videos and improve the quality of them in a number of ways. And one of the ways I've been doing this is actually employing something that I've already done previously, done a video on previously, but I want to show a bit more depth. And that's using Elgato's green screen mouse mat. Now, one of the things that you might notice is that behind me, I obviously have a very sort of nice setup for my unboxing and recording purposes. This is literally a desk purely dedicated to capturing nice footage of mice, keyboards and other things. I don't use anything on here at all. There's no computers or anything on here. Oh, well, I'll tell a lie, there is actually one in the corner there. That's the Corsair 4000D. Well, that's because I'm doing a video on that, and more on that later, hopefully. However, what I want to be able to show you is how I'm going to use this space instead of my normal space to do content. So what I'm doing is using the green screen mouse mat to overlay the gameplay footage with the mouse on it, so you can see a mouse in action. Now, essentially, the reason for this is I have actually had some comments. So I've talked about previously about how I take on board comments that people leave, and one of the ones was, one of the criticisms that I've had of my mouse videos is that my B-roll is stupid because all you're seeing is the mouse and you're not actually seeing it being used, which I was both offended and interested about, because yes, I suppose that's true. I take it that people will understand I actually am using the mouse. I'm using it on a daily basis for working, for video editing and for gaming, but I don't always include the footage. And the reason for that is my desk is often in chaos and it's very difficult to position the camera in a way which will capture nice footage and also have good lighting. Now I have a good light, as you can see from the lighting behind me, and you've probably seen before, and it's just out of range of the thing at the moment. I can move the big light around and you'll see the light changes, and so I can light up the space, but in order to light up my mouse I'd have to light up my desk, which then reflect on the monitor, and it becomes tricky. But I had an idea, because as you can see up here I have cameras set up, and I also have really good lighting in this area because of a light that's up here and another one over there, and so this is perfect for the green screen use. Now, because this is a wireless mouse, I can actually connect up one of the cameras, so this one, with an HDMI cable, so I can have a feed that's running from that into my computer and then shows the mouse. So I can easily, in theory, capture live footage from that, put it into OBS, and then do some clever trickery. So I'm going to use that to show you what I do and how I'm going to use this to hopefully improve my mouse videos in future, especially for wireless mice, because it's very easy to do this, but it's also not easy, and I'm going to show you why right now. So what I'm doing now is I'm running the camera above me in through the Roland UVCO2, which I demonstrated previously, which is essentially a device where you can run a HDMI source into it and then into your PC, and I have it set up. And what you will notice is actually the green screen mouse mat actually already has the filter on, so I'll show you how I do this in a minute, because it becomes a little bit interesting, I think, and it's worth doing. And this is Elgato's green screen mouse mat, and you can see it's basically invisible, and actually if you look out the window behind me you'll see that the field is also invisible. But essentially, if I just show the other source, now you can see the mouse itself. And what I can do is, if I go into filters, I can add a chromatic key to it, and now I have the mouse green screened out. Now this isn't perfect, but what you'll see is the lighting is pretty good, which is very important for green screen work, and it means that it's a bit easier to ensure that the mouse is there but without too much green. So there is a little bit of green on my hand, for example, so I probably need to adjust the filter a little bit, but it demonstrates the purpose of what I'm trying to do. So the goal here is essentially to be able to overlay the mouse over something else. And what I've done with this setup is essentially, you can actually see the green screen. That's freaky. There you are, look, there's the massive mouse being green screened onto the mouse mat in the background. It was pretty entertaining. So what I'm going to be doing is sitting here on this side, playing games on the other side, and then putting that footage across. And so I am going to try and demonstrate some of that in a second. But what it means is I end up sitting here with the mouse on this side and my keyboard on my lap while facing this way to look at the monitor on the other side. And I think just it shows how much effort is going to go into this little thing. Now, it might be a bit easier in theory to just set up a boom arm like I have got, as you can see, because I've got the quadcast on it here. I could put a camera on this, I could put it above my mouse mat, and I could do things from that angle. But what you'll notice if I turn the camera around is that over this side is a bit crazy messy at the moment. It's also a lot darker, as you can see. Even if I turn the light, you can see I've got a lot going on at the moment. I'm testing a speaker out. I've also got two keyboards that I'm switching between. My Stream Deck and my Go XLR on my desk, and I've got the mouse mat as well, a big monitor and other things. So the point is, it's not terribly easy to set up a place where you can do something like this, where I have a mouse mat within easy reach that I can capture footage on and then use that. So now I'm going to demonstrate the process for how I'm setting this up. So essentially what I'm going to do is show you how I'm going to capture this footage. And it's really straightforward. And this is OBS. Now you could do this with several different tools, but as I said, I'm using the Roland UVC02 at the moment. And so what I'm going to do is just add that in quickly. You go into here and you select video capture device. We'll go in here and we'll select OK. And then you can see we have UVC02 from the drop down. Now you could see that I also have a Camlink 4K. That's another good way to do it. You could do it with a webcam and other things too. So now you can see, for temporary reasons, I have a controller in place of the mouse because I'm using the mouse right now to do this capture, but I'll show you the mouse in a second. So what I'm going to do is essentially just put this here at the bottom, and I'll demonstrate why in a second. And normally you'd want to fit it to the screen, but I'm going to put it in the corner because I don't want it to fill up the entire screen. I just want it to be a demonstration purposes. Now we're going to click on filter. So we're going to add a filter into here. I'm going to add an effect filter of chroma key. When we do that, it should automatically get the right color, so it's green. And you can see there's a little bit of green hue down the bottom, so you could possibly adjust it a smidge. That actually, maybe that you can see that's taken off some of the edging where it was a little bit green, so this might actually be better like this. So now I have that set up. The next thing I'm going to do is going to launch a game. So I'm quickly just going to start up a game, and for demonstration purposes, because it's a good fun game, I'm going to use Ready or Not. So while that game is starting up, I am now going to add a game source. So go into here and we'll add game capture, and we're going to select a specific window, Ready or Not. And now Ready or Not is here, but it's on the top. You can see the controller is now hidden because they're not in the right order, so you have to drag the video capture up to the top, and then that puts the controller in. So now I have the controller in the right place, and we're just going to quickly start up a game. Now, so the logic here is quite simply, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the keyboard on my lap, move the controller out of the way, put the mouse in its place. So now, if I position myself properly, you can see, you just get to the edge of the screen. And if I just click off here a minute, like that, and I can start a mission, and you can see that you get to see a live feed of what's happening in the game, and also me using the mouse. I mean, obviously I could make it bigger or larger. My point here is to sort of show the mouse. I could make it bigger, perhaps that would be more engaging. I wanted to show the real-time use case of it and what it's like, but you could obviously make it smaller. You could bring this into a stream. Obviously, you do have to be careful of the edges of it. If I go too far to the edges, then it's going to disappear, and obviously also I need to keep it within the camera's distance, but it gives me a live visualization of what that's like, and you can... But right now, I mean, this all looks straightforward, but rather than sitting at my desk doing this, I'm sitting with the mouse on one side, keyboard on my lap, and my computer on the other side, so I'm not looking in the direction my mouse is, and I'm twisting my body into really awkward positions. So I thought it would just be an interesting demonstration of how I'm doing this and how you could do it to give you an idea of what it's like. And side note, this game's great fun, by the way, and someone's holding this door shut, so... and they're on the other side of it. Is this going to let me deploy? Yeah, there we go. Have a C2 charge. I think that sorted them right out. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions. And also come back to see that Aerox 3, because look at it. It's gorgeous. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting, hilarious, or otherwise. Take a look at these other videos that I think you might find interesting as well. And have a look at the description for links and other information you might find useful. Click that join button to see the benefits of being a member of my YouTube channel. And most importantly, have a great life.